Today, we're going to talk about 5 secrets to high performing boards. And I know, Alyce Lee, you've seen a lot of good boards, bad boards, mediocre boards throughout your career. So let's talk about that for a minute if we can.
I think high performing boards are strategic thinkers as opposed to being very reactionary and kind of after the fact. And the way that I look at that as a consultant coming in and auditing, kind of like what you guys do, right? Coming in and kind of audit what they're doing. If the board meeting agendas are all about committee reports, which is what they did last month or 3 months ago, as opposed to where we're going, that's an indication to me that the board is spending a lot of time talking about stuff that's already happened. So it's just after the fact rather than thinking strategically. So where do we need to be by December? Where do we need to be by December of next year? And how are we doing on our strategic goals? So I think the second one that falls into that category is that they get a little too bogged down in the operations.
Hmm.
And I'm sure there's some CEOs and EDs that are shaking their heads if they're watching this right now, in that because they don't because they're not focused on the long term vision. Hopefully there's a strategic plan, but if there's not, then what ends up happening is the board members start weighing in on the vanilla cake or the chocolate cake kind of decisions rather than the strategic ones.
Great points.
Yeah.
So, what in your mind are some pitfalls boards need to avoid so that they can be a high performing board?
Right. My number one pitfall are dull and deadly board meetings. I mean,
Amen.
and you go to board meetings too, right? In your work. I mean,
Absolutely.
I go to board meetings all the time, in person, virtually, whatever, all shapes, all sizes. And it really makes a difference if those board meetings have a tight agenda, are engaged, are well facilitated by the chair who's leading the meeting. There's an opportunity for board members to talk with each other as opposed to listening to reports. I encourage my clients to have at least one open-ended question on the agenda, not about something at the operational level, something about what's going on in the world. Like, how is the inflation that we're dealing with going to impact our strategic goals? How are changes in the economy impacting the way our donors may choose to give to us? Um, how will an upcoming election impact our organization? Those kinds of big questions, external issues, because then you get the board members talking about something that really matters, not about how to, rearrange the
Right.
chairs in the conference room or whatever.
So, to dovetail off of that, what can a board or board members do to be more effective?
Mm. I think they've got to invest in their success as a board member. I think the boards that I see that I would describe as high performing are ones in which they're including training for board members, and I say training, education. They're educating their board members about these external issues, about what's happening in the sector, about the issues pertinent to their organization. Conversations, white papers, sending them to a conference, bringing in someone to do a workshop. I mean, they're investing in that and working hard to be as high performing as possible. And I applaud those boards for making those investments and making it a priority. And I see the results. I mean, I see the outcomes. I think all of that, it's like you're feeding your board the information that they need to be the best board that they can be.
And Alyce Lee, just to recap, give us real quick the 5 secrets to high performing boards as an overview of this video.
Okay, so focused on the strategic, not on the minutia. That was the first one I said. The second one is not being reactionary and after the fact, to make sure that your board meetings are really visionary and strategic. To not be focused, not to be in the staff's business, not to be focused on the operational, but to stay at that 30,000 foot level. To make sure, number four, that you've got engaged well facilitated board meetings so that when the board comes together, good work is really happening. And then the last one that we didn't really get to specifically, but it's about having that high level of commitment as opposed to low commitment, and if people are serving on 7, 8, 9, 10 boards, and you're number 10, then you're not probably getting their full attention. And so to the best of your ability, looking for people that this board is going to be one of their top 3 volunteer commitments so that their level of commitment is high.
Right. You got to keep it. You got to keep it fresh. And today you've kept it fresh for us, Alyce Lee. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate our audience listening today to our Snap video, and we hope you have a wonderful day.